Okay, this video is from Max, who's trying to make a wing nut on Inventor. And there's really good ways to do this, and there's really bad ways, and I'm going to show you a way that you can do it. So we're going to start off with a circle. Actually, we'll start with a circle. Another small one inside it. We're going to extrude this up just a little bit to get the base of this. And then going to go back into this and make a new sketch. Project the geometry of this, make an offset a little bit to the inside. We'll make this go up a little bit further. Then I'm going to go into my origin folder, find a plane that goes through the middle like my XY plane, make a new sketch on that. I'm going to sketch out what just one of these sides might look like. So I'm going to project this geometry, grab my 3-point arc, some things that you should do as you're trying to figure out how big this is to probably set up some kind of limits. So I'd use a vertical line, make it into a construction line, and figure out how wide your wing nut is from left to right. And that's not letting me pick the midpoint, so hold on just a second here. Now maybe I can do it. Nope, still doesn't like it. I have to put in an actual point on the origin. Okay, so if you know the actual radius of this, it's going to be half of this distance if you measure across from tip to tip. So let's say that was 0.7 or 0.625. Now let's go 0.7. Now I can make this curve tangent to this line. Okay? And the 0.7 is giving me from here to here. That's if the overall diameter was 0.14, or I'm sorry, 1.4 from here to here. I type in half of that from the radius out. Okay? So there's how big it can be. Let's also go ahead and just make that tip touch that line. And we'll go back to 3-point arc. We'll put in something else here. It's going to show most of that. And then connect our line down to our base here. Those don't look quite right, so I'll make the line and the arc tangent to each other. And now that looks a lot better, I think. Okay. Something else you might want to consider doing. We had set up how wide it is. You can also set how tall it is. So you can measure from top to bottom, whatever this happens to be. You can make this arc tangent to that. Okay, this will get you a lot more in the ballpark. Now we are going to ignore this line for the most part. I'll make those into construction lines. I'm going to make an offset of this line, just the curve. I don't care about these. Okay, we want to measure how thick the material is, dimension in between there. Use your extend tool to have that finish going up and down. Use your arc tool to finish the arc here. And use your line tool to connect here. You are going to revolve that shape around this axis, and you're going to use an angle, and I'm not sure how much of an angle this would be. Let's call that like 20 degrees. We're going to have it go from both sides, so it's symmetric. There you can see the plane splitting it in half. This is, if I'm looking at it from the top view, you can get an idea of about how wide that would be. Just make sure it looks roughly like your wing nut, and we can go back and change things later, but this would be a good time to try and figure out exactly how wide that is. Okay, now you have a flat surface on either side. We can make a new sketch. And I want to see that first sketch we spent some time on, so I'm going to turn the visibility of sketch 3 back on. That's the curve I was looking for, which I have to modify slightly because now we're on a different plane. Okay, I do want to get that part of it. I'm going to use my 3-point arc, put 1 point there. 1 point's going to be over here somewhere. This I don't think was part of the drawing. Nope, just the other part. Alright, so now I can extrude this just a little bit. We'll do the same thing to the other side. Check geometry there. I want to use this curve. I'm going to set one part of my arc there. Extrude that out. Same thing. I'm going to make a mirror of these 3 features, and the plane is going to be this one in the middle. Now it'll give me a left and right half, and then all that's left is if you want to come in here, make a new sketch on top, show where these lines are. This isn't something we really care about as far as being precise. We just want to follow the same lines that we had before. Click on that, change my distance to 2 next, and cut. Ooh, it doesn't like that. I'm going to say 2 instead. I'm going to have this be my terminator. Let's change that one more time. There we go. I'm going to click on this surface. So I'm to this curved surface. Click OK. And it kind of sweeps that around. If you wanted to, you can add a fillet on here. Inside and outside. I have to decide how big of a fillet that needs to be. And of course, the much easier way to do all of this, which if you know Inventor, you're probably shouting at me by now. Come up here to New, Assembly. You have Place, is what you normally have. You can go and grab something from a folder that you have. You also have Place from Content Center. Place from Content Center is really handy because here in Fasteners, under Nuts, you have all different wing nut styles. So you have Fasteners, Nuts, Wing Nuts, and here you just pick a wing nut that you might like. These are metric. You have other ones that are inch. You can click OK. We talked about parametric modeling, so let's say we picked one of these. If I go into my Manage tab, Parameters, down here at the bottom, head height, width across flat sides, width across the center, radius, countersink angle, collar width, head height, head diameter. You now know what these different things are. You can come in here and change these, modify these, and make this a customized part as well. Okay, good luck to you. Hopefully this helps. Let me know if it didn't, and I will see what I can do.